I'm Everty Farrell and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are painting two wonderful wintry scenes, so it doesn't matter what religion you are or aren't. You can put these paintings in your house around your room and they will look fan-freaking-tastic all year. Even if it's not winter, they'll still look great. And this is also my first art tutorial, so I'm super excited. And without further ado, let's jump on in! So the first painting is inspired by Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. So start out with a blank white canvas, and then we are going to paint the background a dark blue. But I didn't have a dark blue, so I had to mix a lot of colors, as you can see right now, and in order to get a dark blue that I thought would be fine for a background, although it's nothing like the original. And then we are going to go in with, I used a foam brush and use a bunch of brush strokes to cover the entire back of the canvas and make sure to get it pretty even so that there are no inconsistencies. And go in with some white, and as in the original Starry Night, there is that kind of weird wave thing. I don't really know what's going on with it, but it looks pretty cool. So just go in with some thin white to start out and get it laid out how you'd like it. And then we are going to go back in and thicken it up. And also make sure, this is just kind of a side note, make sure your background is completely dry. Since there's a lot of layering in here, make sure before you add any more layers, everything is completely dry. And now we are going to go in with some more white and add some white circles to represent the stars. And none of this should look perfect right from the start because there is lots of layering, especially in the background. And use a flathead brush to create the moon up in the corner. It doesn't matter where you put it. Now using a tangerine, which was a mix of like a yellow and white and orange, go in and make some little crescents on your stars. And don't take up the whole star because you do need to leave space for another color and some white in the center. And also do the same thing to your moon. And now going in with some white on a smaller brush, we are going to make some halos around the stars and the moon. And a light yellow, we are going to make a crescent to be symmetrical, but not perfectly symmetrical, of course, to the tangerine crescent, and then go around with that same yellow and make some more halo marks. And add some more to your wave as well. And going back in with the tangerine we used for the crescent, add some little halo marks around the stars. It's supposed to look kind of blurry if you've seen Starry Night, which I'm hoping you have because it's pretty famous. Just add a lot of layering of like the yellows and the oranges, just to whatever floats your boat. Add some more on the wave as well. Now we are going in with the background color and making it look like there are some gaps because it's difficult to do that when you have such loose, free brush strokes. So we are going back in with the background color to make it look a bit more spacey. And back in with the white, since stars are mostly white, you do want to make them contain a lot of white streaks. So go back in on the stars and the moon. And the wave needs a bit more white too. I'm not really sure what the wave is, but you know, we're gonna add a lot of color to it. So now we are going to start on our snowman. So just sketch a rough outline of a snowman. Using white, and then we are going to fill it in and add some fun details. And I drew out a couple of them. I think I drew 5. And that worked for me because that fit on my canvas. But if you want to fit more or less, this is really up to you. I also made sure to do different shapes and sizes so that they all look very original and unique. And then I went in with some more white on a flathead brush and just filled them in so that they look like they're made of snow. And then go in with, I used black and also the background color and made just some streaks on them, on their white, to make them look a bit more, not even sure what the word is, but it's in the painting that I was inspired by. Now I'm going in with some black and drawing on eyes. And also some coal buttons. And however many buttons or eyes, if you want a Cyclops snowman, who am I to judge? And then I used a really small brush to do a little smile. And then another small brush to make a hat for him. And I used a lot of different kinds of hats. As you'll see, I have like a short hat and a tall hat. Just make them all fun and original because it's up to you. And then I went in with the tangerine and made them carrot noses. And I went back in with some more white and added little highlights to their hats and their noses, and also their eyes as well, to give them a bit more personality and character. And same thing on the buttons too, just make it look like there's some reflection from the moonlight above. And for the snowy drifts I imagined the snowman sitting on, I went in with some gray mixed with the background color and just made a little skiff looking thing, and then covered it with some white so that it looks like freshly fallen snow. But to make that freshly fallen snow, we have to add some snowflakes. So I went in with a small brush and just did a whole bunch of little snowflakes. But I still wasn't happy with it because this was all improvised after the background was making the snowman and the snowflakes and all of that. So now I'm going in using the back end of a brush and just filling the space with a bunch of tiny dots. And this was so fun to do because you can just go crazy with your snowflake. Here's the final product with all of my little snowmen and my snowy night. I absolutely adore it and get so many compliments because it's just so cheery and fun, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. This next painting is inspired by one I did in an art class as well, so we're going to start by painting the background blue, and then I crumpled up some of my old math homework, and we are going to start blotching white on because it's like a starry snow scene. It's really neat and I absolutely adore it. So just take some white, put it on your paper, and start dabbing around the entire part you've painted blue. And you don't have to paint all of it blue because at the bottom you'll see you'll be adding a black silhouette, but just wait and see, it'll make more sense later. So just dab that on to however you like. It's a starry night and stars aren't perfect, the universe isn't perfect. So I did do kind of like a line of Milky Way stars. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but it was in the original. Then I took some metallic-ish green and just dabbed it in little splotches, and I did the same with some purple as well. And then I went in with a couple different shades of blue and just made it look like a starry explosion. It was really fun. Then I went in with like some darker teal and just made it look like a galaxy, and just keep adding layers and layers and layers and layers until you find a universe and a galaxy look that makes you satisfied. But don't make it perfect. You shouldn't have to make it identical because it'll never be identical depending on when you look at it. And then I went through and I splatter painted a bunch of white on so that it looks like there are thousands of little tiny stars throughout the galaxy. And it is very messy, so I recommend you wash your hands after. And then I took the back of a paintbrush and made some bigger stars, and there are snowflakes that we add in later that look exactly like it. So you can pretend that they're stars or you can pretend that they're snowflakes. And then I thought finger painting would be fun to finger paint in a comet flying across the sky, and then I went in with a paintbrush and just got it to be a bit more how I wanted it to look so I could have a bit more control over it. And yeah, just play around with this because it does take a little bit of work. And once you get it to how you want it to look, then you can move on or just play with it forever. I'm never satisfied. Then I went in with some black at the bottom of the painting and started making a silhouette for my mountains or hills, or I'm not sure what. And then I made them a bit more rigid because you have to make them look like hills, and make sure you leave a little valley. You do need to leave a valley so that you can put a trail in. See where I'm pointing? Leave a valley somewhere around there so you can put the trail in. Then drew some black lines for trunks of trees and then made like kind of a conifer by just dabbing my paintbrush really fast. And I liked how it looked, but you can do any tree you like. And then I went in and splattered some more white paint on my trees so that it looks like they are covered in snow. And using a flathead brush, I went back to define the trunks of my trees a bit more. And the farther you bring them down, the larger their trunks will look. So that's how you kind of define a bit of space. And then I went back in with the crumpled up paper and added some more white like we did on the background to the trees so that it looks like heavier snow. And then I added in some snowflakes because they're so fun to do. I love snowflakes. Absolutely love them. And just add a whole bunch. I even added some on the bottom silhouette part so that it looks like it's snowing. And to make the trail, or river, or whatever you want it to be, just draw a guiding line and do try to have it have a curve because it will make it look better. Then go in and use horizontal brush strokes down the river and keep them parallel to the top and bottom of the canvas, and just do that all the way down in varying lengths, starting from small and then going to large. And then I added in some snowdrifts just all around, and they're not my favorite, but I was fine with them. And then I outlined the hills and added snowdrifts at the bottom of the trees as well. And then I came back in and added some more snowflakes because I live in a place where there's lots of snow. And now I am taking a foam brush and adding a black border to the painting so that it gives it that kind of finished look. And here is the end result. I think it looks beautiful. To be frank, I like it more than the original. So if you try it out, I hope you enjoy it because I absolutely adore mine. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed viewing it as much as I did making it. If you like this, then please give it a thumbs up. Please feel free to hit that red button to subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And if you like these paintings, and maybe if you tried them out, you should let me know in the comments, or, in case you don't know this or haven't noticed, I include an email address that you can send me pictures in my little ending card. So you should definitely email me if you tried these out for yourselves. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!